Everybody give it up for State Senator Danpatrick.
There we go. Thank you very much. We're going to bring it down a little bit. I'm not quite that tall. Wasn't Congressman King fantastic? Again. Thank you, Steve. Awesome. Yeah, I'm not very popular in Austin today. Thursday night, and I serve on finance, and Thursday night, late at night, we're going through the budget, and we have what are called riders. And riders are something you add to the budget, or you subtract to the budget, or you give instructions to the budget. Well, there was this little item in the budget, I don't consider 25 million little, to spend Texas tax dollars, not Austin tax dollars, but all of our tax dollars, to help build a Formula One racing track. Now, you know, I'm consistent. I'm a big sports fan, but you may recall many years ago I fought using taxpayer money to build Minute Maid Park, and I fought using taxpayer money to build the Target Center, and I fought taxpayer money to build the racetrack. I just don't think that's something taxpayers should be involved in. So I kind of stopped. There's 15 of us on finance, and I kind of stopped as they went through it very quickly. I said, wait a minute. Because it doesn't say 25 million for Formula One racing, it says something else that you wouldn't know unless you were looking for it. And I said, Mr. Chairman, is that the 25 million for Austin Formula One racing? Yes, Senator Patrick, it is. I said, well, I'd like to have a vote on that. And so we had a vote. Republicans and Democrats voted 10-4 to take it out of the budget. And you would have thought that I had ended existence in Austin. My goodness, every newspaper, every magazine, every radio station, television stations, it's just amazing. You know, and I said it real clear, because they kept saying, this money will be sent back to the taxpayers. It's no risk. I said, well, if that's the case, there are a lot of rich people in Austin, find 5 to put up 5 million each, if they think it's such a good idea. I don't think there are any takers. Also that night, you win some and you lose some. So later that night, I put forth a motion to have a hiring freeze of our 278,000 plus state employees. Not that we're, if people leave, we're not going to replace them unless it's an emergency. And unfortunately, we were voted down 10-4. And then I put forth a motion that said if you're making over $100,000 a year and work for the state, you can take a 5% cut. And that got voted down. Now, the good news is, I'll get to in a moment, but that was part of the bad news, that I lost those two motions. So you win some and you lose some. But here's the good news, and you need to know this. You have made a tremendous impact with Tea Party gatherings like this all over our country on government today. The reason we have 100 Republicans in the Texan House, quite frankly, is not because of the Republican Party, it's because of the Tea Party. You all made it happen. And the reason we've taken Washington back, Congress, is not because of the Republican Party, it's because of the Tea Party. But your work is not done. Your work is not quite done. The liberals and the Democrats and some moderate Republicans tend to think that, well, you're not going to be paying attention anymore, that you're going home. And I tell them no. The Tea Party folks have tasted victory, but not total victory. Total victory is Obama gone. Total victory is healthcare gone. Total victory is protecting our border. Total victory is taking the Senate back. And total victory is abolishing the IRS, as Congressman King talked about. And we can achieve total victory. In Austin, there are 150 members in the House and 31 senators, 181 of us. And for the first time in the history of this state, there's a third party watching. It's the Tea Party. And because of the Tea Party, the Republicans this session are going to pass a budget. We are going to cut 12 or 15 billion. That's a lot of money. You think about what we're going to cut in Texas, we're going to cut 12 or 15 billion, and in Washington, they were arguing over 40 billion for the entire country to not shut down the government. So we are going to cut significantly. We're going to cut 12 or 15 billion. We're not going to raise taxes. We're not going to have broad-based fees. But I would argue that if it weren't for you looking over our shoulder, and some of us don't need it, but a lot of members do. A lot of people aren't quite conservative enough for me and for you. If it weren't for you, I'm not so sure we would cut 12 or 15 billion. I'm not so sure there wouldn't be a new tax. It's your vigilance. It used to be that people walked out of the voting booth and said, that's it, I'm done. I'll pay attention in 2 or 4 more years. We cannot do that any longer. My kids gave me a bracelet when I was elected. And it's the serenity prayer that many of you know. And it says, Lord, grant me the serenity to know the things I cannot change. Give me the courage to change the things I can. And give me the wisdom to know the difference. Well, let me tell you, there's not much that we, the American people, who believe in the Judeo-Christian ethic and who believe in the Constitution, there's not much we can't change in America.